Good morning, guys. My name is Ryan, and I'm out of Magnum Sports over on the north side of Greenville, Michigan, where I am currently the head firearms instructor here. We wanted to shoot a small series of videos that basically could help you with your pistol techniques. That being said, we wanted you to be able to do it out of the comfort of your own home without wasting time and money at the range. We want your time on the range with your ammo to be as productive as possible, but in order to do that, there are things we can do at home to kind of improve before we even step foot out our front door. So some of the things we want to talk to you guys about is your grip, your trigger control, and your recoil management. So we're going to kick off this entire series of videos, and again, these are short videos, that things you guys can work on 10 to 15 minutes a day, maybe even shorter or longer, depending on how much time you have available, that are going to help you become a better gunfighter. So stay tuned and let's get to it. All right, guys, so the first video, as we kind of talked about in the introduction of this video, would be on your grip. There are a few different grips and a few different things we have to keep in mind when establishing our grip as far as our pistol is concerned. So I'm going to grab a firearm, and this is my downrange area. There's nobody here. We have actual cinder block walls. We're safe, nothing to worry about there. And in addition to that, we're going to go ahead and clear out these guns. So I see a clear gun. You guys can see that we're not screwing around over here with safety. So the very first thing we have to do when establishing a grip, I got to first realize the type of pistol I have. So here I have a striker fired Glock 34, which means to me as a shooter, I have a pretty long barrel and I have a lot of real estate that I can use up to establish a really good grip on this particular firearm. So I want you guys to see exactly what we're talking about as far as establishing a really good solid grip and some of the considerations with this. So we've seen a number of things over the years, from people doing something like this to stuff like this, so on and so forth. But the ideal grip, it's kind of cool because the manufacturer's laid out a blueprint for our hands. And we often don't think of it that way, but when we actually take a look at the frame of the gun and the slide itself, it's kind of neat. First thing I want to do is always establish a good high firm pistol grip with my strong hand, or whatever hand I prefer to press the trigger with, okay? Once I'm here, I'm just going to leave my thumb kind of sitting up just like so. So all I do is grab the gun, and I'm basically using these three fingers, and again, I keep my fingers straight off the trigger on the other side, and I got my thumb kind of up in this position here. The next thing I'm going to do is simply take my thumb and put like a thumbs up. So if you guys do this, you're gonna be in good shape, and then I want you to rotate it to where you can't rotate it or lock it out anymore. This is our support hand firing position. So once I got my thumb there, I can simply open my hand, and I'm just gonna cradle. If you guys look, I'm just cradling right here around these three fingers with these four fingers, okay? Then I'm gonna set my hand right up against the frame or the slide, depending on which part of the gun you're getting, good purchase on. This is the correct grip for this particular firearm that I'm using. Why does this work? It gives me a few different things. First of all, for point shooting, we'll get into that in a later video, but for point shooting, literally look at my thumb. I've been pointing since I was young. I can now just use my thumb as an index finger and I can point shoot. Second of all, I am covering up as much of the polymer and even some of the slide on this gun. We don't have to worry about the reciprocating slide so much if I'm a right-handed shooter. Now be mindful, if you're a left-handed shooter, what this looks like, right? Just be mindful that you guys do have an ejection that takes place of the spent casing. So keep your hand preferably down around the frame side. But for our right-handed shooters, we kind of get the benefit of being able to ride up onto the reciprocating slide, which actually does help with recoil management to a degree as well. But it also allows us to get really high, low center over bore on the gun. It brings everything nice and flush to our mechanics of the body. So once again, hand, open, thumbs up, kick it, open your hand, just simply place it right along the slide and frame, and then we can present our gun just like so. So it kind of all, and I want you to see it from all angles, what we're looking at here. So the other thing we have to consider, guys, is if we don't have a full size, like my hands are not big hands. So for a Glock 19, I can get the same purchase on my Glock 19 as I can this Glock 34. However, micro compact, okay? So right here, again, clear gun. You guys can take a peek. we got to be careful here because our hands, if you guys look at how close my thumb's coming out to that barrel, right? That's a bit spooky. You can get burnt, if not lose part of your digit if you're not thinking about it. So all I simply do is just kind of rotate my hand back, and I have to keep that consistent. Now you guys can see with my good pistol grip, I'm right out at the barrel basically. If I back it up just a hair and I basically pocket in here just a little bit more with my thumb, it's the exact same grip. It's just kind of shortened up, but I give myself about an inch, and that is safe. So if you guys are using a micro compact, please be careful of your digits as they can come out past the actual slide itself, all right? The last grip I wanted to talk to you about, because I think it needs to be talked about, it's often overlooked today because everybody's going to a striker fired gun, but we can't forget the best personal defense gun for most women, because the encounters ending up on the ground, would be a wheel gun. So this is a LCRX, and you guys can see the cylinder is empty there. This grip is a little bit different because if we establish a grip like our other grip at all, we get what we call cylinder burn, right? So the cylinder, actually the explosion goes right up here. There's a lot going on, and there are small fragments that will come out and burn you or penetrate your skin or hurt you altogether. So cylinder burn is a real thing. It's something we don't want to deal with. So what we do is we establish that same strong hand grip, and then I'm simply taking my thumb, just like so, and I'm gonna place it right around the back side, right? This does a couple different things. First and foremost, if you have a gun that can be cocked like so, it's really easy to do so, just like this. The other grip could be something like this, where we basically couple our thumb right down by the trigger, and then we can set this hand here. So these are some considerations for your grips, but you guys can work on your grip day in and day out at home, and it costs you nothing. The more consistent your grip is, the more consistent you will be on the range. If you're constantly finding yourself adjusting your grip or doing something like this, you're doing it wrong. You want to be able to get to the gun and get it into its position and not adjust your grip from there on out. We want consistency. Those little inconsistencies can pull us an inch to the right or left, up or down, depending on how you look at it or what you're doing on the range. And it can cause problems as we get further out in range, right? But if we keep it consistent from the get-go, what you're gonna find is that you guys will be far more accurate. You're gonna be way more comfortable when you do get to the range, just getting to the range and being able to do the work you need to do there, all right? So these are some really simple techniques that you guys clearly can do at home, right? The most important thing is making sure you're doing it safely. Make sure you got an area of the home that it needs to be an exterior wall. You need to make sure you got no ammo in the space that you're working in, and you need to make sure that your firearm is clear, just like we did here on this video, okay? If you guys need help with any of that, feel free to give us a call or shoot us an email, and we can help you figure out what your clearing procedure for your particular firearm is. We'd be happy to help in that way. So stop in here at Magnum Sports on the north side of Greenville. If you guys would, go ahead, like and subscribe to these videos to get some more helpful tips as these videos continue to roll on out. Stay safe, have fun, shoot straight. We look forward to seeing you on the range.